All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Friday. We're glad you're here. We've got lots of tables set up. Everyone's spread out, but we have a really good crowd, so we're glad to see so many of you. And we have everybody tuning in on Facebook Live, or they'll be able to watch it later on YouTube, whatever fits into their schedule. So before we hear from our 6 great speakers this morning, speaking on 5 great topics, we want to hear from our business sponsor. Our business sponsors are the ones who provided breakfast for you this morning, courtesy of Annie Mae's Coffee House. So at this time, would you please welcome our business sponsors, HBK Architecture and Interiors and Founders Place. These are owners and entrepreneurs, Miranda Bruning and Katrina Shirley.
Hey guys, I'm Miranda Bruning. I own portions of both of these companies. So HBK Architecture is, we purchased the firm from John Heckman last year in 2020, and myself and a partner. And since then, construction has just run rampant. We are really busy. We've doubled in size as far as employees go. Sean still works with us, if you guys are familiar with Sean. But we now have 4 additional remote workers. I had a 5th one. She went into early labor, so we're out her, and our business manager, she's pregnant too. She delivers next month, and so we're going to be big and small again. But we have a lot going on. A lot in the community. We've done a lot of work with a lot of you guys. Currently doing past and have future projects. So we really enjoy being here and the support that you guys have been giving us, and really want to stick around and help out more in the community. So you'll start seeing us around as far as being a little bigger footprints. But we do anything from commercial, residential, small commercial, big commercial, healthcare, education. We have the newest project that we went up to Lawrence earlier this week, and we're going to be working on a hydroelectric power plant. So that'll be new for us, but it's going to be a really fun, interesting project. And so it's really nice having a little firm in a small community like this, but being able to reach out to different places. But kind of segue into Founders Place. HBK, we're upstairs, and a lot of you have went up our stairs, and all of you complain about it. Myself included. So we were looking for a place that had, ground floor access, and to be able to have our conference space down there, to be able to meet with clients down there, just to alleviate the stairs in general. And we kind of couldn't find a place around town that had ground floor access that was feasible to purchase and renovate for a very small 2-person at that time, 3-person company, small business. And so we really wanted to stay downtown, have that downtown presence, but the market and the condition of buildings down here, for what we were wanting, just wasn't quite doable on a small business, new upcoming business budget. And so I had an idea about maybe making it to where we have a shared space. So our building, it was 4,000 square feet where we were at, and we were using 800 square feet in the front offices, and that was it. But we're heating, cooling, still have all the rest of the building that we still have to maintain. So the idea of a co-working space kind of came about, and, shared officing. Everyone has to have the bathrooms, the hallways, the conference room, but you don't use it all day, every day. So we turned upstairs into 5 private offices, an office suite that has its own bathroom, and then a big, we call it the think tank, but a big area that has spaces in it that Katrina will explain to you kind of how this all works. But instead of it just being us up there now as the architecture firm, we now have a marketing firm, Fab Creative Services, here in town. We have a state government office that's there. We also have like a local healthcare IT person. just small little businesses that needed an office, they needed a conference room, but they just couldn't afford to do everything on their own either. So we're sharing the cost of those things. So we're really excited about this. The concept worked out, and the community is really coming forward and supporting that. And so I'm sure that you guys have questions on what that all is, and so I'll let Katrina kind of explain what a co-working space is and how that all works. So,
all right, I'm going to do this real quick. But how many of you guys have ever joined a gym? All right, good. I have. You can't tell, but I have. How many of you guys have ever joined a service like Amazon Prime? All right, awesome. How many of you guys have joined a subscription service as simple as like the newspaper? Okay, there are subscription services all around us. My husband has a subscription service. He gets his razor blades shipped to him every month, right? He just pays for a service and it shows up. That's what we are. We're a service that you join, okay? We're not a leaseor, renter agreement kind of thing. It's you're joining a membership like you do a gym. And just like you get all of those advantages of those memberships, those networking, those provided services you get through Founders Place, and it comes in the package of a beautiful office space that you get to work from with blazing fast internet. So we would love to see you guys all there today. We are opening it up to anyone that would like to come tour it right after this from 10 to 3, and we have some amazing goodie bags there that we would love to share with you. So if you have any questions, please feel free to come up and let us know.
All right, I'm going to tell you about that space just a little bit because I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and I happened to be walking around in the downtown area, and I happened upon a co-working space. So I go in, and I'm snapping pictures, and I had not toured Founders Place yet. So I'm sending them pictures going, oh, this is cool, this is cool. And mind you, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. And I get back to Independence, and I go up to Founders Place, and I walk in for a tour, and I'm telling you, it looked the same, if not better, than the one in that major metropolitan area. So we are so fortunate to have... It did look better. So fortunate to have something like this in our community. So please take her up on that offer to tour. I want to thank Miranda and Katrina again for sponsoring. One bonus to coming to First Friday is you get the swag on the table. So for everybody watching, I'm going to show you what you missed out on. Some informational brochures on the table, some little office supply kits, so be sure and take those with you and head down to Founders Place when the event is over. The next thing that we're going to do is, before we go through the calendar, is recognize a home and homeowners who have recently invested in their property, and these homeowners actually have plans to do some future improvement. And this is through the Investing in Indy program, and it's part of the Chamber's Pride and Beautification program. So this month's Investing in Indy recipients are Tim and Jennifer Christensen. They live at 308 East Maple. The Christensens have been making improvements to their home for quite a while. I drive by all the time, and I watch everything that they're doing out there and really beautifying their home. But they learned about the city's neighborhood exterior grant program last month after they were watching First Friday. So they reached out to Lacey because they were excited to see that their neighbors were investing in their properties, so they decided to get on board as far as participating in that improvement program. And Tim and Jennifer have future plans to do additional things with hopefully these funds, and they would include landscaping, but more importantly, a portico over the front door and new windows in the attic. I do want to point out that the funding has been expended for 2021, but if you're interested, be sure and turn in your application, and it will be held for future funding. So with that, I'm going to turn on the cordless mic, and I'm going to flip lights on. Am I on? Okay. So let's take a look at 308 East Maple. This is the before. Still a super cute house. Let's look at some progress, work in progress. Tim and Jennifer have been hard at work on the front of that house. Another And there's the after with the beautiful pergola, the fencing. They've taken out shrubberies. So let's take a look at a side-by-side. Great improvements. I encourage everyone to drive by 308 East Maple. We will be putting that sign over there in front of their yard for the entire month so that they can be recognized for their efforts. So congratulations to Tim and Jennifer Christensen. Thank you. Will you flip the lights on for me? Let's go through the calendar real quick and see what's going on. You've got a calendar in front of you, September and October. So we're going to hit the highlights of September because we'll catch October at the tail end. I want to remind everyone that the Can-Okla 100-mile highway sale is happening next weekend, but you have to get your permit in today. So do not wait. If you don't get it in today, you're not on the map. So you want to make sure you're on the map. Brings in lots of people. We have people in the hotel rooms. We pass out about 1,500 maps, so get that done at the City Hall. Permits are free. Tonight is football at Schultes Stadium at 7 o'clock. The Bulldogs take on El Dorado. And mark your calendar for the 24th because we'll take on Coffeyville that night, and it is homecoming. The farmers market is still in full swing. You might not think so, but the vendors and the farmers all decided that they wanted to continue with Saturday markets through the month of September and into, I think, the first week of October, just as long as produce continues to come out of the garden and they want to show up. We're going to host them at the Farmers and Makers Market every Saturday from 7 to 11, every Thursday from 4 to 7. If you have bulky junk stuff that you're wanting to get rid of, I want to give you some information about an opportunity that the city gives us every Tuesday from 8 to 2 and every Thursday from 8 to 2 and on the first Saturday from 8 to noon. That's when Tim and Jennifer can get rid of all of their building materials, all their junk they're trying to get rid of, any appliances, any broken furniture, anything and everything almost that you're wanting to get rid of. You can load it up, take it to the sanitation yard at 21st and Maple on that Tuesday from 8 to 2, on that Thursday from 8 to 2, and every first Saturday from 8 to noon. Get rid of all of it. Now let's switch gears and talk about recycling. On Tuesdays from 11 to 1 only, they take recycling. And also on the first Saturday of the month, they take recycling during that time period as well. But I wanted to give you a reminder, all you recyclers out there, about some plastics that we want you to take into consideration. So they do take in, we want you to bag your paper and your glass and your aluminum and your steel cans, but I want to take this time to talk about plastics. They'll take ones and twos. But there are 3 kinds of ones and twos, okay? So ones are clear bottles and plastic jars like water bottles and peanut butter jars. Put those in a bag, the clear ones. Number 2s can be cloudy. That would be milk and vinegar jugs. They go in another one. So if they're cloudy, they go in. If you can't see through them because they're blue and it's detergent or it's a bleach jug, those go in another one, okay? So 3 bags, 2 kinds of plastics. Got it? All right. Let's move on. On Saturday, I want to let everybody know that starting Saturday, October the 2nd, the city's brush dump is open to all of us as local residents, and that's the first Saturday of the month from 8 to 2. So you can also take all your branches and your limbs and everything and go out to the brush dump, and that is completely free. I want to make sure everyone knows that, unfortunately, we're all in a labor crisis right now, finding enough employees, and it was put out on social media that this weekend, our park and zoo will not have the train and carousel and miniature golf strictly because of staffing issues. So hopefully it'll open back up next weekend, and that will be on Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 5 that you can ride the train carousel and play miniature golf. Speaking of miniature golf, don't forget about Glow Golf. If you slide your finger down to Friday, September the 24th, it's at 8:30. It's $5 to play Glow Golf. The 5th annual Southeast Kansas Pride Week starts next week. Brandon West is here to kick that off and tell us all about that at the end with a shout out. And if you're looking for employees, we were just talking about that. The Pirates at Work Student Employment Fair is next week, and we have Melissa Bruce here who's going to be presenting about that. And I want to remind everyone, we have Blues and Barbecue on Wednesday at Dickey's Barbecue, and next week they'll be featuring Cody Johnson. I wanted to just put this out here, some food for thought on something fun to do, speaking of food. You can go to Dickey's on Wednesday and have Blues and Barbecue. You can go to Brothers on Thursday and get a pizza special and enjoy John Hamlin's guitar playing. You can go to Indie Brew Works lots of different times, but in particular on Friday the 25th, or is that a Saturday? Saturday, thank you. Saturday the 25th, and Tracy and the Time Travelers will be performing at Indie Brew Works, and many times they have music and great food at Uncle Jack's. So we always have great restaurants, but a lot of our restaurants are really putting out efforts to bring us lots of good musical entertainment. So be sure and put that on your calendar. On September the 8th, we're going to have a change in schedule, and Dr. Larry Markevich will be talking about that. There will be a benefit concert, and he's going to speak to that, so just mark that on your calendar. And then next week is a busy week at the Chamber. We've got the Gold Wing Road Riders coming in. This is a conference, a regional conference, so you're going to see lots of motorcyclists in our town for 3 days. Close to 100 of them will be spending time in our community. And we've been working with them for over a year, and they just told us at the last meeting that they're going to be coming next year as well. So we get to host the conference for 2 years. And we will be having a night parade for them, and we're having a scavenger hunt for them to really push them out into the community and show them all the wonderful things that Independence has to offer. So the night parade will be Friday night. So if you want to maybe go downtown or out in the park area, at about 7:30 or 8 o'clock, you're going to see those motorcyclists driving through town. Leadership Independence is going to be kicking off next week as well. We have 18 members in the class. They're going to have their first session next week, so we're excited about that. The Can-Okla Highway Sale is going to be next week. And then on Saturday will be the Optimus Pancake Breakfast. We have a shout out about that. We have the Yana Julian Memorial Run on Saturday. We have the Memorial Concert that we're going to have a speaker speak about today. And we have ICC football. They're taking on McDougall Technical Institute on Saturday at 1 o'clock. And finally, if you have any energy left, that evening it'll be the Meadowlark Lounge. And that is patterned after the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee. Tickets are $20. It's appetizers, refreshments, and great music from area singers and songwriters. It's a benefit and a fundraiser for the museum. So if you want to check out that, call the museum at 331-3515. And Main Street fundraiser is on the 18th, and that's at Patio 210. I think they're sold out. If you didn't get a ticket, never fear. There's always something fun to do. The Pirates will be playing football. They're taking on Fort Scott that day at 7 o'clock. So there's still a second option there. And the MAC golf tournament is still taking golf players or teams if you want to play. That's on the 24th. And then the next let's see here. The 25th, I want to let everyone know that we are going to be hosting the Flat Rock Ultra Trail run and race out at Elk City State Park. And this ultra marathon, they consist of a 25K and a 50K. And so there's going to be a lot of runners coming into our community. They come in multiple times actually a year out at Elk City State Park and run the trails out there. So we're excited to be able to host them. Actually, in 2022, we will be providing them with a tourism grant as they come back to our community for a running festival, and that will be a 25K, a 50K, and a 100K that they will be running out there. And if you're just curious, it takes about 10 to 15 hours to run a 100K. Can you imagine? So we're excited to host them. We're going to be providing them with lots of good information about our community when they're here. And then I want to let everyone know that we have Movie Under the Stars on Saturday the 25th. We're going to be having Tom and Jerry, sponsored by Enbridge and Remington Ranch, out at Riverside Park Oval. And activities will start at 6:30, and I believe the movie will start around 7:30. Highlights for October: Newalla headquarters opens October the 2nd. We have Business After Hours on the 5th. We're hosting the Kansas Police Dog Association on the 6th through the 8th. You can get a free flu shot on the 9th, and the Fall Community Cleanup is on the 9th, and we're crossing our fingers that the Chamber can hold trunk or treat on Halloween, but we'll keep you posted on that. We also have the Veterans Day of Honor event that we're working on for November, and if you're interested in supporting our veterans by having a float or a group walk through that parade and honor them, please let us know. We would love to have you a part of that. So with that, we are ready to get started with our speakers. We have lots of good information to share with you today, and first up, we have the Executive Director from 4 County Mental Health, along with the Deputy Director. Greg Hinnon, the Executive Director, and Steve Denny, the Deputy Director, are here to visit with us about a new vision for behavioral health. Please welcome these two gentlemen to the podium.
Good morning. I'm going to make sure I have my timer set so I don't encroach on Steve's time too much. I'm just going to set some context a little bit about what the new vision for behavioral health is as it relates to 4 County Mental Health Center and really some across the entire state of Kansas. And then Steve is going to speak to the implementation of some of the programs that we have gotten started and the impact that that's had over the last year with some of the local patients and programs that we've initiated. Where I'm going to start is with some federal legislation that actually was passed back in 2013, and it set the way for what's called the Excellence in Mental Health Act. That's what got passed, and it set the parameters, both a federal definition and the criteria for what is a certified community behavioral health clinic. The 4 County Mental Health Center, since its inception in 1964, has been a community mental health center. They're changing the name a little bit, a certified community behavioral health clinic. And from that legislation, there was an opportunity across the nation for states to adopt this clinic model, and it would give opportunity for the entities to be kind of a new provider in the Medicaid program. And in that new provider status, there's an expansion of program services designed for comprehensive range of services addressing kind of the whole person care. So it's not just mental health needs, but also what are the physical health needs that are impacting somebody that may impact their ability to manage themselves or to take care of whatever other mental health needs they have. So could be mental health, could be substance use. In return for expanding the programs, addressing those vulnerable populations, and doing so with some evidence-based care, a lot of data collection, the clinic, once they're certified, is provided access to an enhanced Medicaid reimbursement. It's based on a kind of a cost basis type reimbursement, which is fairly important. For those of you that don't know, our Medicaid reimbursement rates haven't changed in about 20 years, so it's a little tougher to do business on those hourly rates that we've been getting. The CCBHC, Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic status, will allow us to get additional reimbursement for those expanded programs and be kind of a cost-neutral basis for us. So back to that passage of that act, there were 8 demonstration states across the nation, and for 3 years, those states initiated and implemented the CCBHC model with their community behavioral health, and they had very positive results, so the government decided to expand that offering for 3 additional states to join that model. And in 2020, they decided that whether an entire state was going to convert their mental health system or not, that the federal government wanted to support individual agencies that were willing to serve as a certified clinic. So that's when 4 counties submitted an application, and we were given one of 90 grants across the nation to pursue this, start building capacity to become a certified clinic. It's been a busy year to get that done, but as one of 90 in the nation and the only one in the state of Kansas, Steve's job for the entire year has been nothing but CCBHC focus. What programs do we need to expand? How are we going to get that done clinically? Jody, I know she's not here to speak on 4 counties' behalf, but she's our operations officer, so she's been in the thick of that as well. But the things that we've been able to accomplish have increased our 24-hour crisis care. We've got some evidence-based practices that are collecting data that really show the impact for our patients. There's enhanced care coordination and integrated care with primary care needs, so the patient that's coming through our doors getting some screenings or some assessments to make sure that they don't just need their anxiety or their depression addressed. If there's a blood pressure issue or diabetes they didn't know about, those kinds of things, we get those assessed and identified. And the exciting thing about this is not only does it enhance people's mental health and well-being, it improves their primary health status, and what they found in the other states that have implemented this in the years past is that after a 2 to 3 year implementation of this clinic model, that the cost of health care starts to drop. So if you're looking at that Medicaid program, once the behavioral health issues are better managed and there's more appropriate care coordination with those integrated services, that while you're putting more money into the behavioral health system, the overall cost for care starts to drop. So in a 2 to 3 year time period, there's a cost neutrality, and then after that there becomes a significant savings because people are staying out of the ERs and they're not having more maybe severe types of illnesses that put them in the hospital, and we're able to manage the patient and the community health in a much more effective way. So I'm going to stop talking and turn it over to Steve so he can tell you a little bit about how those programs implemented at 4 County are having the impact. So, my alarm won't shut off. Must be a sign that I didn't quit talking.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Steve Denny. It's nice to be here. So we just submitted our CCBHC annual report. It's 36 pages long, and I think I have about 7 minutes to summarize that. So I'll do the best I can. Like Greg said, CCBHC is a comprehensive model that really focuses on 3 areas. It's comprehensive care, it's outcome focused, and it really helps us think about data and thinking about looking at what information are we collecting to help us make decisions about what our community needs. And then it involves an array of comprehensive services. So mental health, substance use, primary care screening, a focus on veterans, crisis care, expanded access to care. We've really enhanced our same-day access services. So about 78% of the people that need an admission get it on the same day that they call in our current model. We've really driven and expanded that in the last year. We also had to really think about what are the programs that we need. We did a needs assessment and started really evaluating what is our community. And one of the things that CCBHC requires is a focus on veterans. So on Mondays now, we have a veteran services provider whose sole role is to work with veterans, help them access benefits, help them get connected with the care they need, whether it's with us or with the VA or some other system as well. We also developed an assertive community treatment program, and this is really important because this allows us to spend some hyper-focused time on the most difficult populations. So people with co-occurring addictions, mental health issues, often legal issues, very often homeless as well. I'm going to tell a story to close out about that. And then patient navigation. Greg mentioned that we're doing primary health screening, and if someone identifies with a high blood pressure or hypertension, we are facilitating a referral to a medical provider. We're thinking about tobacco. About 30 to 40% of the people that we serve are using tobacco as a way to cope with their mental health symptoms. We know that there are significant health outcomes and healthcare costs of that. So patient navigation has been important. I mentioned that one of the ingredients is this being data-driven, and I want to share some things with you specific to Independence, and some of it more regional and in relationship to our county. I'm a longtime county resident. Grew up in north of Tyro, went to school in Caney, had an Independence address, and my family went to church in Coffeyville growing up. So I'm definitely I'm a county resident. But I did want to pull some things specific to Independence, just to point out some things we're observing in the data. If you look at the people we serve with an Independence address, we're finding a couple things. One, this is compared to the rest of our population. I'm not saying this is representative of the entire county, but about 1.9% of the people, around 5% total, are homeless. And we define homeless as we think about it, or precariously housed, which means couch surfing. A slightly higher rate of prevalence of depression, and our top two conditions are depression, PTSD, with anxiety mixed in there. On the children's side, we see a lot of ADHD, some conduct disorders, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression conditions as well. And I'm going to explain why this is important here in a second, is that when we start thinking about the collective picture, what are we learning about our communities? I collected some data on our 327 Independence residents that we had data on for fiscal year 2021. So about 327 households reported their income. 60% of those households have an annual income of under $20,000. And the average was just around $22,000 for our entire population. So we are serving a group of individuals and families that are largely living in poverty. And that's significant because when we start looking at some of the other things we're finding in the data in terms of what are the people telling us? Well, about 40%, just under 40% of the adults we serve tell us that they don't feel safe in their communities, or they don't feel as if they belong in their communities. So we think about our role as a community. How can we make our communities feel more safe, and how can we help our individuals feel more connected to where they belong? 47% of the people we've served have had a significant experience of violence or trauma in their life. This is some data this is countywide data, this isn't specific to Independence, but what we're finding is that a significant percentage of our children are saying they don't feel safe in their neighborhoods, or they don't feel connected in their neighborhoods. Around 20% last year said that they don't feel safe in their neighborhoods where they live at currently. And that's important for us to understand, because if you start putting together the picture, we learn that poverty, violence are factors, and that impacts the emotional health of our communities. We also learn that community connectedness is essential, right? And we all play a role in that. There's not enough for county employees to address that issue in and of itself. And access to care and treatment is part of the puzzle when you think about what are we doing. So I didn't share all that data just to bum people out. I promise you I didn't. But I also wanted to paint kind of a realistic picture of what the data is telling us. What we find, though, is that most of the people, this slide tells us that around 30% of the people that walk through our door are saying, I am extremely bothered by the problem that brought me here, whether it's PTSD, depression, whatever it is. After 6 months of treatment, only 2% say that they're extremely bothered by that same problem. We're also finding that we're seeing positive outcomes on employment, satisfaction with housing, better access to crisis services, higher impact on quality of life. So that's telling us that treatment works. Last quarter, of all the people who completed our addiction treatment program, 0% were homeless, 74% were employed, full or part-time, and 95% of those individuals had 0 arrests in the past 30 days. So access to care and completion of treatment does work. And I want to make sure people understand the importance of this. And as we think about an outcome-focused approach with CCBHC, how can we get better? We're going to be continually asking these questions and assessing needs of our communities and paying attention to what is it that we need to be more effective, and how can we work together with communities to be successful. So I do want to close with a really positive story. So I mentioned our assertive community treatment program. Earlier this year, we've been ramping up and delivering services throughout our community. We currently have 29 individuals serving right here in Independence, and a significant proportion of those individuals are homeless. we had one referral from someone from a state correctional institute who had been on their third period of service in that institution. And we were able to go for the first time we've ever done this, pick them up, bring them back to the community, took them straight to their appointment, got them started in alcohol and drug treatment, medication-assisted treatment, got them referred to a PCP, able to get an apartment within the first month of returning to the community, able to have that person be employed for the first time in 3 years. We're approaching 90 days of sobriety with a job, a promotion at their job even. So these services, these things we're doing, they do make a difference in our community. But I also want to point out it's not just us. We are partnering with a lot of different individuals in our region, in our community, with businesses, with schools, doing everything we can to work together to help us continue to be more effective. So thank you for the time. I appreciate everyone just giving us an ear. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really great information, and we appreciate all that you do and the services that you provide at Fort County Mental Health. We all know, especially this past year, life has been really rough. It doesn't matter who you are, and it just doesn't matter who you are. Life is hard, and we're so fortunate to be able to have the services that we have at Fort County Mental Health. So thank you for that. Next up, as Greg mentioned, we continue to have somebody from Fort County Mental Health. She is actually the Chief Operating Officer, but she is here this morning to talk about leadership independence and the alumni program that is being rolled out. We're super excited. I can't imagine anyone more fitting for this project and to lead us through this as Jody. She's been in leadership. She went through leadership independence. Her class started in 2003. She's continued for the past 18 years to be deeply invested and involved in leadership. So would you please welcome Jody Hayes.
Good morning. All right, we're good to go. And there we go. Okay, fantastic. I want to start this morning by telling you a little story, if we could. Maybe it's more like a fable. So once upon a time in a kingdom, maybe not unlike Independence, there was a road that went through that kingdom that was really heavily traveled. Merchants and farmers and peasants and lords of the manor all shared that road, and they all used it to go about their daily walk. They awoke one morning to find a huge boulder right in the middle of the road. Now, while not everything was blocked from getting through, many things were, and it was hugely inconvenient. And interestingly enough, those with the right title, with the right tools and resources, that were strong and young and had all the right attributes, didn't fix the problem, as you might have expected they would. Many people loudly blamed the king for not keeping the roads clear, but none of them did anything about it. The king decided he'd make a reward available for the person who solved the problem, the one who moved the stone. Now, he didn't make a proclamation. He didn't make a big to-do about it. He just made a decision and implemented it. One day, not long after that, a peasant was making his way along the roadway, and he was carrying a huge load of vegetables. So what do you think he did? Well, as he approached the boulder, he laid down his burden, and he began to work at pushing that stone out of the way. And soon after, much pushing and straining, he finally did. He succeeded. Now, once he finished the job, he went back to pick up his vegetables, and he noticed a purse was laying in the middle of the road where his big boulder had been. And the purse contained many gold coins and a note from the king, who was hiding in the bushes just off to the side of the roadway, explaining that the gold was for the person who fixed the problem, who removed the boulder from the roadway. So why am I telling you this story this morning? What's the moral? Well, it's because I believe that every obstacle we come across in life gives us an opportunity to improve our circumstances. And while some will sit back and complain and wait for someone else to fix the problem, the real leaders among us are the ones who are creating opportunities through their willingness to get things done. I think the fable's also a great illustration of one of the cornerstone beliefs of the Leadership Independence Program, that leadership is an activity, not a position, that anyone can lead from anywhere at any time, and that leadership skills can be learned by any one of us. It isn't up to your typical leaders, but rather each of us can make a positive difference in our community, at work, at home, with civic engagements, in our churches and communities, wherever we find ourselves. We have the opportunity to do that. And Leadership Independence has been paving the way for that since 1984, which is when we got our start. So more than 30 classes in that length of time have completed the course. And while it may look different today than it did in 1984, nonetheless, it's had a really rich history. As we think about its legacy and what people have accomplished through the program, we've known that there was something missing. As good as it just wasn't quite what we were hoping for. Despite shifting over time from all things independence to also including leadership training, despite combining networking and civic engagement with projects benefiting independence, despite meaningful connection with the experts at the Kansas Leadership Center to bring top-notch leadership education to town, we put on this program. It's been a blend of all that's great in independence and meaningful leadership to skill development, and we've worked to get class members ready to engage meaningfully in our community. And then, well, once the class was over, it was kind of over. We didn't really have a great way to follow up with them or stay engaged with previous class members. Now, if I'm sitting in your seat, I might be asking the question, well, why not? What's the problem? Well, the reality is that Leadership Independence is almost an all-year program. And so by the time we get 1 year in the books, it's time to start working on the next one. Enter 2020 and COVID, our proverbial big rock in the middle of our road. Last summer, it became pretty apparent that we were not going to put on a Leadership Independence class for this past year. There's lots of ways to connect virtually. Looking around the room, I'm guessing most of you have had a Zoom call or a Microsoft Teams call or a GoToMeeting in the last year, maybe more than you'd like. It just didn't feel like the right fit for Leadership Independence. So instead, the board decided we would use our year off, and rather than just sit back and take the year off, we would use the time to create something that we'd been talking about for a long time. An organization specifically developed to nurture these relationships made during the Leadership Independence experience. And I'm delighted to report today that we cleared that boulder out of our path, and Leadership Refresh, the Leadership Independence Alumna Organization, was born. We formed the board. Check out the roster of rock stars on the wall. And we've begun work on 2 different events to occur within the next 9 months. We thought about what we wanted to accomplish with the program, that whole begin with the end in mind idea, right? And there were really kind of 4 main ideas we wanted to focus on. One was a networking and social component. We wanted it to be fun for folks who have been through the program before to reconnect and rekindle those relationships. We wanted, of course, a leadership development piece so that we could continue enabling leaders in our community to add to their education toolkits. A civic engagement opportunity. We know that when people get to do a project together, it strengthens their bonds. And so providing an avenue for folks to work on a project together was one component we thought was important. And a purposeful way to engage new graduates of the program. We wanted a pathway to welcome new graduates into the alumna program. And so Leadership Refresh will take on the responsibility of putting on graduation each year. Our first event is coming up. 11/11/21. It's our Leadership Refresh kickoff, and the evening will feature an opportunity for alumni to, 1, reconnect with one another and also with the broad visions and ideas of leadership independence. Most of all, what I'm most excited about in that evening is that those of us putting on the alumna program will get to hear from attendees what they want out of the experience. We'll focus on the ideas that a successful program creates leaders, who creates leaders, who creates leaders. And we'll recreate the value that so many have gotten by participating in the program. And lastly, we'll reimagine. what we might lean into, what possibilities might be accomplished for the benefit of this community. These triple aims, these 3 R's, I think capture the 4 main goals of the program overall and will give us the opportunity to hear what our attendees most want out of the experience. So Leadership Independence Refresh. It's designed to maintain connections, create value, and imagine the possibilities. Now we know that there's over 300 graduates of the program still in and around Independence. We want to connect with you. Information will be coming soon about this kickoff event, and we'll be using all the ways we know of: social media, snail mail, probably phone call, personal invitation, written communication. In the meantime, if you've been through Leadership Independence, we really want to hear from you. If you want to be part of this alumna effort, reach out to the chamber and make sure we know how to find you. If you think this sounds like something you'd like to participate in, but you haven't yet been through Leadership Independence, well, we want to know that too. As Lisa mentioned, this year's class is getting started next week, so it's a little too late for 21. But we'll hang on to your name for next year and be glad to welcome you into the program at that point. Stay tuned to updates as we move throughout the next year, and thank you for your support both of Leadership Independence and this new alumna effort. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm super excited to roll that out. I think it's going to truly benefit our community for many years to come. So that's exciting. Speaking of exciting, we have some exciting news that we are going to hear all about from our city engineer, John Garris, as he tells us all about those polycarts and our new sanitation schedule. Please welcome John.
And that is a rollout. Thank you very much. Good morning. And thank you, Lisa, for welcoming me back again to First Friday. And thanks again for the wonderful coffee. This isn't my first coffee today. I was at home drinking some coffee in my slippers. How the coffee got in my slippers, I'll never know. Okay. Apologies. But I do have one more. Being the city engineer can be a very lonely position, so I glued a coffee cup to the top of my car. Now everybody waves. So our topic this morning isn't bad coffee jokes, but rather the coming changes to our sanitation system. I'd like to emphasize one point at the start. Services for most businesses will remain absolutely unchanged. If a business requests a cart, they can be provided, but if they want to continue with their current arrangements, that's fine too. So the first system change is the method of trash collection. And it's right out in front, a brand new system for collecting trash. Except the system isn't brand new. Plastic trash carts have been a thing since roughly when Jimmy Carter was president. But they caught on, and now they're standard. And there's several reasons for that. First off, the carts are safer. As an automatic tipper can be used to empty the cart on the trash truck, now employees won't have to lift nearly as much during the course of a day. This saves significantly on injuries. Since the carts have large wheels, they're also easier for residents to maneuver. Second, due to their large size, rather than collecting twice a week, the carts are big enough to collect once a week for a typical family. This will reduce the wear and tear on our roads and alleys. Third, given that they have an integral lid, it's tough for animals to get into the carts and scatter trash while looking for a midnight snack. You can say the carts are kind of like Batman. They keep the streets clean when others won't. Fourth, they're square, so it's much more difficult for them to roll down the street on a windy day. And fifth, each cart has its own serial number, which will be tied to the residents, so we'll have an inventory of active users. I mentioned wear and tear on the alleys. The alleys were designed in some cases for loads that were far smaller than the weight of a modern trash truck. A modern trash truck can weigh 40,000 pounds. Although this makes for efficient trash collection, it's difficult on an alley originally built with Model T trash trucks. That's how it started. that would have weighed less than a standard pickup does today. Can everyone take their carts to the street? No. If you look at the way that the city's built up, some of the houses have stairs in front. You can't reach the street. And we've really tried to go through and understand those areas where that's just not possible. They've been reviewed, and we've created a map that will show what the new trash day will be, and also if your trash will go into the street or into an alley. Down to some numbers. 3,400 of these carts will be delivered to residences starting Monday, the 13th of September. 3,400 is a large number, and one of the challenges is not everyone can be contacted the same way. Not everyone takes the paper, not everyone was on Facebook, not everyone is listening today. So we put together a different suite of communication methods. Information's been in the city newsletter. Information will be shared online. And information on the program, along with delivery maps, will be sent with every cart delivered. That's because the second thing that's changing is that pickup will be now once a week. That will mean a change for many people on what day the collection will be. As I said, new maps will be sent with every cart delivered. There will be also an interactive map that will be available online so you can view where you are and determine when your trash day will be. That map will also show if the pickup's on the street or in an alley. This change in pickup schedule will start on September 27th. The carts will show up on the 13th, and the new routes will start on the 27th. Of course, once you get the cart, start using it right away. I mean, everybody will, but please, start using it. Here's some general notes. On pickup days, we're asking the carts to be at their pickup location by 5 a.m. and return back to the house as soon as possible after they're dumped. Generally, if the carts haven't been abused or willfully damaged, the city will repair or replace your cart at no charge. Every week, even if there's a holiday, there will be a pickup day for each residence, although in some cases we'll have to move to a Saturday pickup. For example, on Thanksgiving, our employees will have Thanksgiving Day off. But on Friday, they'll pick up Thursday's trash, and on Saturday, they'll pick up Fridays. So we will slide, but every residence will have a pickup every week. If you move to another house in Indy, don't take your cart, just leave it at your house. And if you want a second cart, you can order one for an extra fee. We've worked hard to think of everything we can when it comes to rolling out this change, including looking at what other cities and counties have done, because we want to make sure that this change helps to beautify our city and to make life easier for everyone. Again, no changes to business service. So, important dates to remember: Monday the 13th, carts will roll out. Monday the 27th, once a week pickup starts. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that visual aid there. Very excited for that rollout. And I have to tell you, John, we appreciate so much the time and the effort that you have put into thinking about all of our questions, our concerns, all of the what ifs when it comes to this program. This is not an easy thing to roll out. It's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of us because it's change. But we know that it's what's best for our community and what's best for our sanitation department and our city overall. And lots of other communities are doing it, and we're going to do it as well. And I just encourage everyone that if you have a question about it and how it might affect you personally, give John a call. Call anybody at the city offices. They can direct you straight to him, and he can answer your questions or help you with your concerns. So we look forward to the rollout of that program. I know that some people are saying, when are we going to get curbside recycling? And the answer is we would love curbside recycling, but we're taking steps. And maybe in the future, that is something that we will have in our community. But for right now, we're getting polycarts, and we have recycling at the sanitation station on Tuesdays and the first Saturday of the month. So let's all be better at recycling. That'll reduce our trash so it will fit in that dumpster. All right. We have two more great speakers that are going to share their time. They're both from Independence Community College. First up is Melissa Bruce. She is a financial aid specialist at ICC. She's here to just give us a brief update on that amazing Pirates at Work program and everything you need to know to get involved with that. Please welcome Melissa.
Good morning. So I'm here, I picked up the wrong note. I'm starting off well. So I'm going to talk to you about our Pirates at Work program. This is a federal work study program. ICC has had a federal work study program for some time, but we're expanding it now to private employers. This is part of an experimental site initiative by the U.S. Department of Education, and we are one of 34 community colleges in the country piloting this program. If you were to hire a work-study student, ICC would handle all of the payroll and paperwork for the student. It does not cost the employer anything. We're going to be hiring a job fair upcoming on Wednesday, September 8th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the ICC Field House. There is still time to sign up and seek a student work-study employee, and I have brochures here for information if you're interested. This is an opportunity to provide much-needed employees to the community while enriching our students' experience. Like I said, I have brochures available, and if you need more information, you can email us at financialaid@ndcc.edu. Thank you.
I invited the financial aid department back to the podium because we know that Laura spoke about this program that they're rolling out, but the job fair is next week. And I just want to make sure that you seek out Melissa and the other employees that are here from the financial aid department. If you are in need of a great employee, then they are the people you need to visit with. And I can't imagine a better win-win when, for one, you don't have to absorb that labor cost, and it gives these students at ICC a wonderful opportunity to gain some valuable job experience and get those things on their resume. And maybe they just want to stay after they complete their associate's degree and continue to work for you. So with that, we're going to keep the ball rolling with ICC and welcome Dr. Larry Markevich to the podium, who's going to talk to us all about some musical events that are coming up in our community. Please welcome Larry.
Good morning. I just want to first thank Lisa and Madison in the Chamber for their undying support for ICC and for our fine arts program. So I really appreciate every month we always try to do a shout out or something to talk about what's up. So coming up this Saturday, a week from tomorrow, is the 9/11 Memorial Concert at Patio 210. It'll start at 10:30 in the morning, and we hope you could be there right at the beginning because we're going to do a honor guard presentation with the VFW and our local Marine Corps detachment. And we will play taps in the round. If you've never been there, where we're going to have one person on the roof of one of the buildings, a person in back by the museum, another person around to the side. Play taps in the round, present the colors, and lay a wreath and have a moment of silence for the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And that's how we'll begin the program. The program is themed Darkness to Light, so we'll start off with a couple of very somber, heavy tunes, including a rousing arrangement of Amazing Grace. And Don Farthing is going to conduct a piece called When the Stars Fell from the Sky. From there, we'll move forward into a lighter program, finish up with a Bugler's Holiday by Leroy Anderson, as well as Night at the Movies by Alan Silvestri, which, if you don't know, he wrote Back to the Future, Polar Express, Night at the Museum. So we'll end it in a light, happy manner. Afterwards will be a short reception in conjunction with the VFW post, and we hope you can make this concert. It will be a memorable event to commemorate a sad event, but also an event that I think the last time this whole country bonded together at the same time. It's been 20 years, so we hope you can be there with us that day. It's Patio 210. It's a great venue if you haven't been there yet. I recommend you bring your own chairs. We'll have as many chairs as we can, but you might want to bring your long chairs. Like if you go to mid-continent concerts, that might be the same chair to bring to this one. Moving ahead, at that concert, we have a brass fanfare written by a New York percussionist named Jay O'Brien. He was supposed to be our guest soloist this week. He was going to be here for the full week doing recitals and master classes with local high schools. And another calamity hit New York this week, as you know, the intense flooding from Hurricane Ida. He lost everything as he was trying to get out of town to come here. And Jay's van flooded. He lost all his instruments. He got back to his house wading through water. His entire recording studio, his basement, everything got trashed. So we were able, my boss, Taylor Crawshaw, Vice President of Academic Affairs, and my supervisor, Heather Maidosh, asked if I could put together a benefit concert. So we have a world-class violinist coming in Wednesday night to perform a recital as a fundraiser, a benefit concert at the museum. So this Wednesday the 8th, if you're around, stop by the museum at 7 p.m. this Wednesday, and if you could donate to help Jay out. He will come back in the spring, so you get to meet him in person, but we're trying to help this guy out. Imagine being a freelance percussionist who just came out of the pandemic, barely keeping his head afloat, and now this happened. So anything to help him would be great if you can make it that night. And the soloist's name is Maureen O'Boyle. She's a principal violinist with, at one time, Tulsa Symphony and now Tulsa Signature Symphony. And she is one of the best violinists in the region. So we hope you can hear a wonderful evening of music and maybe donate to the benefit. Last thing I'd like to talk about, and this is going to be exciting, for those of you, before there was New Year's Eve with Dick Clark or Ryan Seacrest, who remembers Guy Lombardo and the Royal Canadians? Yeah? So our Waldorf Astoria in this town is, of course, the Booth Hotel. So we decided we're going to do an old-fashioned Guy Lombardo New Year's Eve fine arts fundraiser with a light dinner, champagne toast, and big band music. We're going to bring out the Glenn Miller tunes. When's the last time you did the bunny hop or the alley cat, right? So coming out, we're going to dress to the nines that night. If you got a tuxedo and a gown, wear it. It's only going to be $25 per person or $40 a couple. You'll get, like I said, some food, champagne, and a great night of dancing with the ICC Jazz Band. The hardest part for us is people don't realize how hard those old charts are. Like In the Mood by Glenn Miller is really hard to play. So we're going to have to rehearse quite a bit, but we're going to have a good time. And we hope to see you at that event, too. So 3 big events. Fundraiser this Wednesday the 8th, benefit concert, 9/11 this Saturday, a week from today, actually, tomorrow, and then, of course, New Year's Eve. So we hope to see you there. Also, ICC's Jazz Band, Orchestra, all those events will keep happening throughout the fall. So each month, I'll do a quick shout-out telling you what's going to happen next. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Well, Larry, it's easy to support Independence Community College because there are so many wonderful things going on out there and wonderful people like yourself. So, Dr. Bowie, don't let Larry go anywhere. We got to hold on to him and Paul. They're doing great things. So we appreciate everything that Independence Community College does for our community. So we've got some shout outs. They know who they are. So we're going to ask them to come on up and get in line. And while they are doing that, I want to remind everyone that information is on our website. It's on our Facebook page at Get Independence. We have a WhatsApp flyer that is published in the Independence Daily Reporter. We have a calendar of events that is published in the Independence Daily Reporter. We have a taped community calendar that runs Monday through Friday on My Country 102.9 and KIND 94.9, sponsored by Dairy Queen. If you want something listed on that community calendar, be sure and let me know, and I will work to include that. And then we also do a morning interview every Tuesday at 8:10 on KGGF 690 AM, and many of you have been in studio with me as guest speakers, but it's another great way to get information out into our community so people know what is happening in Independence. So with that, Brandon, you want to hop on over here? Just keep on coming. Nick, you're next.
So, I'm wearing 2 hats today, but the first...
Are you on? Let's see here. Let's try this one. Try that.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I feel like an old commercial. So I'm wearing 2 hats today. The first one, I would like to invite you all on behalf of Project Q&A to our 5th annual Southeast Kansas Pride Celebration starting next week on Tuesday, September 7th through the 11th. Every day, starting on Tuesday at noon on our Facebook page, we have our Lunch and Learn workshops. Those include topics such as history, climate change, and something we all can work on is mindful self-compassion. At 7 p.m. on Tuesday and Wednesday night on Facebook, we have our panel discussions. And then our in-person events. On Friday, we have a drag show at 7 p.m. It originally was at the Booth Hotel, but because of COVID, we are changing it to the 4-H building. Tickets and info can be found on our website at projectqna.org. And then Saturday night, we have our picnic in the park, which is from 5 to 8, and it's going to be at the band shell. We're going to feature yard games, a cookout, live entertainment, and we're really excited to bring our special guest, Representative Stephanie Byers, into town to speak. Our Southeast Kansas Pride is made possible thanks to our sponsors, the Stonewall Inn Gives Back Initiative, Standard Motor Products, the Independence Convention and Tourism Bureau, First Oak Bank, Jim Hayward Fine Arts, and many local donors. The second hat I'm wearing today is the library. The Independence Public Library is just started a new initiative called Library in a Bag, thanks to our rockstar librarian, Nancy Kishpaw. Library in a Bag takes IPL where you are. Libraries provide information, answer questions, they entertain and educate, they provide laughter, smile, and a sense of community. And all of these elements are in the Library in a Bags. So if you haven't picked one up today, stop by on your way out, or if you're not here with us today, you can stop by Mikey's, Annie Mae's, Laurel Street Bakery, the Episcopal Church, Montgomery Place Skilled Nursing, and more locations will be added in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Nick, come on up.
Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm the pastor at Impact Christian Church, and we are excited to celebrate. We're having our 1-year anniversary on September the 12th, and we're going to start at 10:30. So yes, we did plant in the midst of COVID in 2020, and so we've been really blessed, though, with the fact that we have had people that have rallied, and we've been able to support our community and love on our community even in the midst of COVID. And so if you want to join us, we'll be there at 10:30. We are going to have food, bounce houses, cornhole, and stuff like that after the service. So we'd love for you to join us for that. The second thing that I get to promote today is this. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. James chapter 5 says this. Is anyone among you suffering? Let him pray. Is anyone cheerful? Let him sing praise. Is anyone among you sick? Let him call to the elders of the church and let them pray. If you don't know the theme, it's pray. And I don't know about you, but I've been hurting during the midst of COVID too. I think we all are. We're tired of hearing about it. We're tired of all the political stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just tired of it. I want it to go away. And so I want our community to pray. And so the churches and the leaders of the churches in this community had decided to come together on September 13th to pray. And we want to do it beginning with the school. We're tired of our kids dealing with COVID. I'm just telling you right now, I meet with too many parents who are afraid. Right now, I just want you to know, we need to pray. We need to unite together. The churches have to come together. Our community has to come together to pray. So we're going to meet at the board office on the 13th at 6:30 a.m. We're going to pray together, and you can go out in the field, and you can separate, and you can make sure that it's a COVID-friendly thing. It's going to be outside. But at 6:30 a.m., put it on your calendar and pray. September 13th, be there so that we can pray as the church, so we can pray as a community, because we want this disease to go away. We all do. So churches, let's pray.
Thank you, Nick. Jason?
Optimist pancake breakfast is not tomorrow Saturday, but the following Saturday. That's also 9/11. And if I can piggyback onto what Larry had talked about, I think we have 300 little flags. And so the first 300 people that show up for the pancake breakfast, we'll give them flags. So if they go over to the patio 210, by 10:30, they can lovingly wave their flags. So wanted to let you know, it is pancake breakfast. It is all-you-can-eat pancakes. It's from 7 to 11. It's at the Wesley Center, and it's on 9/11, not tomorrow, but the following Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you guys there.
Thank you, Jason. Dr. Cooper? And hold it up hold it up real close. I think the battery, I hope it'll hold out there.
I'm Dr. Cooper, Bard Animal Hospital. We're just here to announce our new veterinarian, Dr. Buemiller.
Hi, everybody. As Dr. Cooper said, sorry, I stand in front of you. I'm Dr. Janie Buemiller, and I'm the newest doctor at Barter Animal Hospital. I've been here for a couple months, originally from the state of Idaho, but loving Kansas so far. So give us a call with any of your pet or livestock needs. I'm interested in everything. So, all right.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Cooper, and welcome to Independence, Dr. Janie. Summer, come on up. Another new face.
Hello. I'm Summer Hall. I'm here with Southeast Kansas Works.
Put it real close to you.
Hello? Like that?
Just,
Okay, sorry. I'm Summer Hall. I'm here with Southeast Kansas Works. I am their new business service representative. My job is to help employers post their job postings as well as help job seekers connect with those employment opportunities. So if you have a job you need posted, you can come see me at 317 North Penn. We're just a couple doors down from Animes.
Thank you. Thanks. And Wendy and Dana, you're going to wrap it up here. Hopefully that battery holds out just a little longer.
Hi, Independence Area Community Chest. We're kicking off our 2022 campaign season. So if you guys need information on donating to the Community Chest, we've got brochures. We are also looking for new board members. So if you're interested in that or know somebody that might be, please come see us after the meeting. Thanks.
We also want to announce that Community Chest is excited to partner with Independence Community College Theater Program, and we are going to help in conjunction with them sponsor two performances this fall. The first one will be our 2022 campaign kickoff year. It'll be October the 14th. They're going to perform A Doll's House, and it's going to be at the Inge Theater. We're going to have hors d'oeuvres, refreshments, alcohol and non, and it'll be on the night of October the 14th. Hopefully you guys can come out and support the theater program and the Community Chest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mark that on your calendar because that's important, and I appreciate the fact that the college is going to support the Community Chest. That's a way for us to give our money, and then they are good stewards of that and push it right back out to, I think, 25 plus very deserving organizations and groups that need funding in our community. So we appreciate that partnership that's going on. On behalf of the Chamber and the City of Independence, we're coming to an end. I want to thank our speakers, all of you this morning. I know you spent lots of time and thoughtfulness in preparing for your presentations, and I appreciate that. Miranda and Katrina, thank you so much for sponsoring this morning, and also thank you for your investment in our community and what you're doing to make an impact in Independence. So we appreciate that, and we support you, and we encourage everyone to go tour Founders Place. And let's please be extra mindful of our active military and our veterans during these trying times. And I'll just leave you with this thought. Someone said this the other day. Let's all make an effort to find a veteran and make sure that we tell them that their service mattered. So let's make that a priority, please, during this time. So thank you all for coming. Have a safe holiday weekend, and I hope to see you all again next month on Friday, October the 1st. Have a great Labor Day weekend.